Okay. Disclaimer. Before we begin, we want to be crystal clear. We are not employees of the Ministry of Children, Community Social Services. We are 3 people with disabilities who are tired of the narrative that being disabled automatically means living in poverty. And no, we're not here to sell you investment products or recommend financial institutions or even tell you how to live. We are here to share as we are comfortable our lived experiences and our wisdom we've gained living with our disabilities, navigating the ODSP policy directive, income support, employment supports. They are now archived on the website. If you were to visit Ontario Disability Program's website, they moved to Employment Ontario and other Canadian disability benefits while building our own wealth. This is born from decades of trial and error, dedicated research, peer support, and massive commitment to be empowered and self-determination. It is vital to remember that our paths are unique to us. We remain fully compliant with all legal regulations and policies while taking massive action towards our life ambitions. Our experiences are meant to show what is possible. They're not a substitute for professional advice. Your journey will be new to you. It's essential to consult with a qualified professionals to create your individual strategic tailored plan to your circumstances. I believe wealth building is attainable for anyone, but it requires a growth mindset, hard work, discipline, and consistent effort with a never give up, never surrender attitude. Okay, so have you ever felt like a system is you're trapped inside a disability and social assistance system that wasn't designed with you in mind? A system where if you receive disability benefits, you're told directly or indirectly that your financial story is already written. I know that feeling because I lived it. Actually, I'm still living it. It's not past yet. It's still current. I feel trapped until I got myself unstuck. For many people living with disabilities, the social assistance system can feel like it sets the limits of what's possible, especially when it comes to money. There's often unspoken message that disability benefits define your financial ceiling and you have to accept it. And what if that story is not your final financial destination? And what if you have more financial control than you've been led to believe or even programmed? You have more financial control than you think. You can be your own hero in your financial journey. The power to lift yourself out of Ontario Disability Support Program is around you every day. Hello and welcome to Disabled Wealthy right here on the Minnie on Cam YouTube channel. I'm your host, Minnie Sinclair, and I'm so glad you're here today. And I'm still nervous. I will calm down eventually. For this conversation. For too long, the narrative around disability and money has been rooted in scarcity, limitations, survival, and poverty. In Canada, people with disabilities continue to face significant higher poverty rates than the general population, and too many are navigating social assistance systems that were never designed to support long-term wealth building or financial expansion. Poverty in Canada is stagnant, and it's up to all of us to break the cycle of poverty. Now, this is where I would share an infographic about the stats of 1 in 6 Canadians. 1 in 6 people with disabilities live in poverty. 1 in 3 people are living alone or below the poverty line. People with disabilities require, on average, 30% more income to reach the poverty line. That stats is from Disability Without Poverty and the campaign 2000 they did in 2025. So we're now in 2026, and every month Disability Without Poverty does a town hall webinar on the progression of poverty and how it's going. And it sounds like a broken record. I need something to change. And as much as we can do advocacy work and all the things to get government to change policies, increase benefits, it's very slow moving. I've been doing that, pursuing financial independence while living with a disability, chronic illness, maintaining a healthier lifestyle. I started small, but now I'm building momentum. I'm very hopeful about my future. Every Saturday on the Minnie on Cam YouTube channel, most Saturdays, not every Saturday, but most Saturdays, is the Disabled Wealthy Livestream, where we challenge the narrative head on. This is about shifting from ODSP poverty survival to thriving economic strategy. We are about applied knowledge, financial empowerment, and economic mobility that creates wealth. And we are designing a life that expands our options instead of shrinking them into poverty, despair, and defeat. And today we're taking that conversation even further. This is a special 3-person panel discussion, and I invited 2 incredible guests, Patrick from Disabled Investor, who brings a deep focus on disability, DIY investing, financial strategy, and building long-term wealth while navigating disability systems in Canada. And my second guest is Terry from 40 Below Zero, a multiple sclerosis podcast. He is an advocate who brings lived experience, honesty, and insights into what it really means to navigate chronic illness. Together, we're going to unpack the real questions: what financial independence looks like while living within Canadian disability, social assistance systems, what actually is possible, what gets in the way, and how we can start reframing and rewriting the narrative from the inside out. But before I bring in my 2 guests and we get into the conversation, if you find value in these conversations and want to support the work we're doing here, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Fun fact, 68% of who's watching my channel are not subscribed, and 88% of you are new viewers. Welcome to the channel. And if you want to support the Millionaire Mission directly, you can do so with the YouTube supers. There's super chat, super thanks. And I also have a QR code for my Buy Me a Coffee link. You can support me directly over there and buy me a coffee. I also have an interesting spreadsheet calculator that determines the income qualification for being on Ontario Disability Support Program. And every bit of support helps continue creating these important conversations for our community. And now let's get the party started, because I'm still nervous and I need to calm down. So, guest, where are we? That's only Patrick. Hold on. Here's Terry. Okay, good. So,
hi,
Patrick.
Hi.
Great. Welcome. Thank you for listening and pre-show venting. So now let's introduce Patrick and then Terry.
Well, hello. I'm Patrick. I have a specialization in navigating the Registered Disability Savings Plan through my channel, Disabled Investor. My core philosophy is that wealth building is focused entirely on structural safety. So, I'm not trying to tear anything down. I'm trying to build things up and raise the ceiling, or eliminate the ceiling. The reality check for me is that an unpredictable disability, like I have some sight loss that's going on. I don't know how long I'm going to have vision. So that means to me that I can't hustle my way out of this indefinitely. So I'm making hay while the sun shines. So my objective is to demonstrate to everyone how the RDSP creates long-term passive financial security for when the hustle needs to stop. And that's where
Thank
I'm
you,
at.
Patrick. Thank you so much. And your channel is Disabled Investor, right?
Right.
Great. And Terry.
what's going on, guys? So I'm Terry. I am one of the hosts of 40 Below Zero. It's a podcast about MS. Really, it's about normalizing the talks of the sick. So I'm here today because, first of all, I'm huge on awareness. Okay, I'm huge on you can't fix what you don't know. And since meeting Minnie, I've learned a lot. And I learned a lot about navigating through the system as well, and just to help myself, right? I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to learn some more. And yeah, thank you. And this is when I sing. Ready?
Yeah, remember, I'm also producer, so I'm trying to make sure the live stream is
You're good.
living and
You're good.
people can see it, and then I have a script to read. And first question is, what does economic stability and success looks like to you?
Who wants to go first?
Well, Patrick, you said something
my-
first.
Oh no. Okay. Well, economic stability to me looks like not having to worry about groceries, gas, or rent. I get eliminated one of the three because I don't drive anymore, so gas is out of the window. But as far as groceries or rent, it shouldn't be a question. Shouldn't be So that's where my objective is. Bare minimum. I don't want to have to worry.
I agree with that. I'm big on having, and this is old. This is probably stuff that we've heard in the past, but having at least 3 months worth in case everything stops. I'm not stressing for 3 months, or I mean, I'm going to stress if right away, but you know what I'm saying. But yes, definitely having no questions asked, having your rent paid, um, your priority bills, right? As long as you have that covered and no stress, because my thing is taking out stress out of my life and out of everyone's life. Because I feel like when you become on, assistance, you start stressing, right? Because you feel stuck. And people hate to ask questions. I think that's the big thing. People hate to ask questions because they don't want to shake, the platform they're on. They don't want to irritate anyone, bother anyone. So yeah, so I learned a lot from you. So I'm glad to be here.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So when I look at that question, in my notes, I wrote a long essay for some of these questions. No, I'm not going to read it, but because of how I got on ODSP, like I've been on Ontario Works first, and then I was working, and then I'm working with symptoms of bipolar disorder and PTSD and depression. And the main thing people were telling me is like, oh, you're fine, just work harder. And even now, I still don't have a visible disability unless I'm psychotic, which means I have to go to the emergency room. Or if I have a relapse from multiple sclerosis, like August 2025, my hands were tingly so bad that people were still giving me bottles from my grandmother's backyard barbecue of the alcohol to put back in the house. And then only my cousin noticed that I have balance issues or walking down the stairs, or I'm holding onto the house to go through the sliding door. Then she's like, oh, what's wrong? And I'm like, my hands are tingly and it feels weird and I think I'm going to fall down. And then they're like, either sit down and do nothing, or the minute I get up and show I can do something, they're putting me to work. So I don't have this not work thing, because around me people, and then I had the muscle spasms in August. I'm trying to get support from the government. I physically couldn't do the things I needed to do day to day of laundry and groceries and shopping. I applied for Ontario Health at Home. They said no. So when the government says no for another program in the government, what are we supposed to do? So I got back to work. I'm working with muscle spasms. I'm working with symptoms. I'm going to my doctor's appointments. I'm going to the emergency room. I'm trying to get my parents only really listened until a doctor told them there was something wrong. They were not listening to me. The person that knows what's going on in my body wasn't being heard. So economic stability, yes. 3 to 6 months emergency fund. I'm back at $1,000 emergency fund. Fantastic. That I did it no matter what, because nobody's coming to save me. And the amount of research I did to find supports and programs and services that are there, I'm not disabled enough. Even my disability application we just submitted again to the government, my doctor put in there mild. Then I'm freaking out if that's going to get approved or not. Because if they see me as mild and when I know I'm not mild, who's going to do anything? That's the part of where I know that Prince Charming is not coming to rescue me. I have to figure out it for myself. if people are not helping me, if programs are not helping me, if charities are like, oh, you rejected from the cohort. If I'm rejected from a cohort, that means I get services from a nonprofit.
You know,
And then
you,
to be in a nonprofit, you have to believe the mission of the nonprofit. If I don't believe their mission of the nonprofit, they don't want me there. So here we are. And that was only
So-
question one. Terry.
you say it best. You say no one's coming to save me. And you know, in the beginning of my multiple sclerosis journey, I was going through a lot of symptoms that I didn't want to tell the public because it was an ego thing. So, you know, I felt like no one knew I was sick, and I always played it that I was okay, which is the wrong way to play it. But I had someone in my life at the time who knew about it and knew that income could have been coming in for us. So it was more of that person wanting to do this, and I was learning about it because I never knew about it. No one told me about these programs, and that's what got me a little upset that no one said, hey, you need to go on Ontario Works, or even on Ontario Works, or on ODSP, you know, all that stuff. So I'm a little upset that no one ever told me. No one came to save me either. And yeah, I think that's the main reason why I'm really loving you, because you know, we're educating everyone. Really, we are. So, and then again, the big thing with me is awareness. That's the big thing with me.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Definitely, yeah. I'm with you. There's nobody's coming to save you. You're right. You know, you gotta make hay while the sun shines, as I said, and just prepare for, as we've said before, the winter, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's
I
funny because
know,
no, go ahead.
I know not everybody with a disability can do this for themselves. That's why so many charities out there help families, but many of the charities don't help individuals. And then if you have any capacity to make your own decisions, you don't get all the services for moderate, severe disabilities, like how everything is in a silo. So some things are specifically for intellectual disabilities, some things are for sickle cell, some things are for like CNIB for low vision and blind. Everybody's in these little buckets, hoping the government will hear us. And then, like my diagnosis of bipolar and multiple sclerosis, they only think of the worst case scenario about it. They don't realize how much work is involved to get to stable, choose the right medications, have really jacked up side effects, and then live with the side effects. And then hopefully the side effects don't go into a class action lawsuit. That if you want to be part of the class action lawsuit, you have to remember to sign up. Like the bread thing. I got my bread money. Who got their bread money? The $49. Because I signed up for it last year. And the lab that does my blood work every month, they had a class action lawsuit, $7.85. I got it. PayPal, got it. Everything in there, I'm looking at where can I make sure that I'm getting my economic reparations. What's the word? Compensate victims in suffering. Like even that, my victim suffering money, $8,025. I got it before I got on ODSP because I was not on Ontario Works. So I've always been in the system of making sure I do what the system asks. I do what I need to do. I do the expectations of my family, like all the time. And oh yeah, I live alone. There's nobody here. I'm a single person benefit unit on ODSP, and I have everybody trying to tell me how am I supposed to live. And I'm at the point where don't tell me how to live my life unless you're supporting me on the thing I want to do. Okay, question 2. So what entrepreneurship barriers or opportunities have you faced starting or growing a business and with side hustles? Now, I have issues with the word side hustles, but I want to hear you guys first.
Yeah. Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, I'm you know, I don't want to rattle the cage when I start a side business or any of that stuff. I don't know where to start. I wish I had an agent sitting next to me telling me exactly what needs to be done. That's the truth, because
that's a job then. You want a job, not a business. That is because there's legal definitions of both. Entrepreneurship is a fundamentally legal structure right down to what you do for taxes. So then if
Yes.
you want somebody to tell you what to do, you want a job. You want to be an employee, go through the interview, hope you get hired, hope you get a T4
I didn't
slip.
I don't know.
And-
I think I hear where Terry's coming from. I mean, if you don't want to be a trailblazer, like there are people who've done things before that you can learn from. I don't know. That's what I look at it. And it's like, I don't want someone to tell me exactly what to do, but I want someone to tell me what they've done and what worked for them and, you know, steps to take. You know what I mean?
Coach me. Yeah.
Coach, a mentor.
Yeah.
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 So mentorship programs are funny because again, you have to present your idea that they like, that they think they can help you. So if you have an idea that's like non-traditional or controversial like mine, I don't get the support. I have to hire private people independently, like Tony Robbins coaching program, $20,000 American. Like I have to go outside of the country to get support. So the wide variety of what's available still comes down to awareness, what you want, how do you want it to be like, and then how you're going to execute it. So like there's making income on your own and then social assistance. Social assistance is already decided. So we just apply, we're eligible. And apparently it's 4% of people that are eligible for ODSP, and there's 20% of people in Ontario with a disability. The stats that I found till 6 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah, that's crazy.
it's not an equal playing ground. It's not. We're lucky to even make it to the top. And that's where it comes from, the story of two mice are in a bucket of cream and they have to swim to the top, and then the cream gets stiff. So they climb out. But if you can't swim, yeah, I can't swim. Luckily, I can swim in other areas of life, but actual water, I would not make it.
You know, and we have illnesses on top of everything.
Yeah.
So, you know, no one sees what happens behind closed doors. So I have a lot of days where I am not motivated. I'm just like, oh, you know, I'm just going to lie down and sleep forever. You know, I'm not motivated. And I guess that's what I meant by, I wish there was someone to coach me, you know, because sometimes, you know, the struggles are real, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
but every mentorship coaching program says you have to be coachable. So if you want
course.
someone to coach you, are you coachable? Because there's programs I'm in and they want me to be coachable. They want me to come back and show results, the things I've done from the last week. I'm in a coaching program now. Like it's a group coaching. It's 3 more or 5 more sessions. And then I do a whole year coaching again, where every week that I show up, they want to know if the coaching is working. And then at one point, one coach didn't think the coaching was working, but they didn't realize I'm working through a lot of limitations mentally and then physically. So the mindset had to kick in, and then I had to do the actions, the be, do, have, which is a personal development thing of being first, doing, and then having. We can't just jump to having. We have to do the being and the having. Like when we plant corn and seeds and
Logical. Yeah.
that. Like, yes, we want the green peppers, but have you cut up a green pepper? How many seeds are in that thing? And sometimes there's a green pepper growing in a green pepper.
That's true.
So we need to be
You
in the
get 2
right
for 1.
environment. Yes, sometimes, yes. All right, so this next question. So like the questions come from an organization that had proposed these questions in our town hall, and all 7 of them, they wanted us to answer them in 15 minutes. I know it's
Okay.
not something that's 15 minutes. We're already at 24.
So,
Yeah, let's do
So it says, what alternatives to full-time employment have you used? Then they included, I had to look it up, rotating savings and credit associations. Then I had to look up if it was actually a thing in Canada, because culturally, I know it as, my aunt would say they're in a partner program where they would pitch in, like a group of them would pitch in money into savings, and they rotate who can get a pool out of the savings. And it's mostly a cultural thing. Each BIPOC heritage kind of has one. Like there's Susu in different countries, and like, but I didn't know it was a financial product in Canada now, which is great if your like how we have halal investing, and then we have Muslim cultures. They don't believe in interest, the usury. So
Right.
they try to go into like financial products that don't charge a ridiculous amount of interest. Those things started coming in because how international we are and culturally diverse we are. But when I looked up the rotating savings program, because of the way that the financial system I've been in for so long, I can't get my mind wrapped around this alternative because I'm working so hard in the system we already have of going into a bank, building my credit, ruining my credit, rebuild my credit, have savings, have them offering a line of credit, max out my line of credit, go back into bankruptcy. I did insolvency 3 times, and now I'm in a credit counseling program, mainly because juggling debt and with the disability and then the fluctuating income, plus also rules of ODSP, makes being a traditional financial consumer a little challenging. It's getting better only because finally the rules of ODSP have changed, where we can now make $1,000 net income in a month. And then now when a bank sees, oh, I have $1,000 coming in, they treat me better. They instantly treat you better when there's more income coming in on top of your ODSP income.
Oh, you're worth
And
more to them as a customer.
yes, we are. Yes, I know it's a whole profit generating system, but also psychologically, I feel better because I don't have to just squeeze out $1,700 a month and hope I make it to the end of the month. They're like, took you ODSP, I've been on it since 2011. At that time, they told me I couldn't make any income. Then 2013, they're like, oh, you can make 200. Now, 2023, you can make 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm tired of waiting for the system to shift. As I'm getting older, I'm aging, and then I'm physically declining because of aging, and then multiple sclerosis, whatever symptoms want to pop out of the bingo card, and then
Yeah.
bipolar, ADHD, OCD, menopause, perimenopause is still there. Like,
Life is real.
Yeah,
Yo,
it
so
sure is.
you see the increase. You see the increase. You said now 2023. Now it's 1,000. Who did you have to do the research every time, or do
I
you get
always
an
looked.
email?
I was always looking because
This is
when
the
I
problem.
got on, I already
Yeah.
had a job. They told me to stop doing it because I'm psychotic. Then in treatment, they told me to apply for ODSP. Then
Okay.
I'm almost evicted from my apartment. I get approved. I'm rushing to the office to find my back paycheck, the lump sum of $6,000 that I needed to save my landlord from evicting me. And the sheriff, technically I had a court order for the sheriff to come to kick me out of my apartment, but it didn't happen. Backlog, prayer, protection,
Mm.
whatever. So I paid the court filing fee, had the judge order me to stay in my apartment until we had a court date. Because it's an option. Either you can do it or not do it. And then you
Yeah.
have a one-time payment to get back in your apartment. And then
So
I can never do that again. So like paying the lump sum back of the back pay of my rent from the lump sum from ODSP. If
Yeah.
something happens with my rent and me and my landlord and they send me to court and we go through the process again, I can't get back in. I can't save myself from going homeless. This is it. So ODSP rules that says make $1,000. Yes, I'm going to do that because I need to put $300 a month for 3 months to pay my rent to be a month ahead, so that if something happens of human error in the ODSP office, I'm saved. At a bare minimum, pay my housing costs a month ahead, because if a caseworker makes a stupid error, which it did before, this is why I'm emphasizing it, and he sent my rent check to a different building. I didn't know, but luckily during the pandemic, because we got all that money, I paid my rent a month ahead. So when that error happened and the caseworker called me to tell me, hey, we sent your check to a whole different building that you don't live in. And then they go track it down and they got it and they gave it to me. Yeah, I am tired of being at the mercy of somebody in the office that can push a button and destroy my whole life.
I understand that. I really do. And dude, you're a lot of stress on your plate, man. Especially when
Yes.
you're going like, I know what you go through with MS. So I
Actually,
would say
the MS part, not so much. Like my symptoms are stable. My medication is doing the
doesn't
job of the
matter.
medication. But MS,
Doesn't
like
matter.
the MS thing, I wish more people understood it's not the same for every single person.
Agreed. Agreed. But it doesn't matter.
I
You
just
have MS.
purchased myself an exercise bike and I plan to, and my place is hot all the time. So like, and I can't move. I can't control the temperature. This is what I live in with symptoms. And then, oh yeah, you know, you should like the way people suggest how to cool my apartment down and they never been here. You never been here. How do you know the temperature? How do you know like, and you're giving me suggestions? Just because I have an air conditioner doesn't mean it actually heat cools down the whole place. It doesn't. I have fans in every corner of my apartment to circulate air in a vortex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who like, do you know that works? Like, no.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, for sure. You're
So yeah, we have the same diagnosis, but how it presents itself is very,
Yo,
very
I totally
different.
understand. And all I'm saying is it's invisible. And the fact that you say when I'm okay, or you know, when you, I feel like I never say that. I never say, hey, yeah, I'm great. I'm fine. You know, I'm not like this guy. Because when I'm having my bad day, I have to like backtrack to people, you know, and they're like, oh, I thought you were fine. I'm like, no. Just like Patrick, he has issues behind the scenes, I'm sure. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
let me just say, when you were saying in 2023, it became 1,000, they increased it to 1,000. And I said, how did you know that? You're like, I look all the time. There are people that have no motivation, that are fatigued, that not because they're whatever, mentally, you know, and they're not looking because they don't have the strength. They've given up. And I was there. I'm like, I'm just, you know, I was so glad I had someone in my life to do this for me. And I'm like, thank you. And I was just managing the system. You know what I mean? Like I was just
treading water, right? Treading water.
Exactly. I was saying trekking on water, but that's my
same deal.
But yeah, no, you're awesome. So yeah, so and then I saw Minnie and she told me this and that, and I was silly because I looked into it and I'm like, how come no one told me? And it's my fault. It's my fault. I'm not blaming anyone because I didn't pursue, you know, a better life or a better way of handling things. And so that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm all about awareness. I'm like, dude. And every time I talk to someone on ODSP now, I'm always saying, hey, you need to do this. You need to get your disability tax break. You know what I mean? In order to move on to the next level of getting things. And I learned that from you. And this is why this is really important.
Definitely.
And yeah, I can't, the stress that I heard you, I can't, I'm so impressed with you. And I'm so glad you're around to spread the information for us.
Definitely.
Great.
It's good.
All right. Question 4. What barriers? So most of these questions, they were originally with the word barrier in it every time. And I hated it because there's actually opportunities in the system if you're looking. And if you don't have the capacity or spoons to look, things will pass you by.
Sorry, spoons? I don't know what that means.
So the spoon theory. So like, how many spoons do you have in your drawer in your kitchen? You have a rough idea?
Oh, shitload.
Right. But eventually you have to wash all of them. And then I have like, you know, the dessert tiny spoons and then the big spoons. Yeah. There's a weird way I calculate when do I do all of my dishes, and I do half at a time. Either I do half, I do all, or they sit in the sink and they get rust on them. There's that's a visual of spoons, but spoon is more of the energy levels. Like, especially in the MS community, we talk about brain fog and fatigue a lot. And it's different for everybody, but there's a window, especially when I was on the medication that interact with each other and I was sleeping all day long because they weren't thinking this would make me drowsy. And then when it did, they're like, oh, you know, just tough it out. I couldn't tough it out. Unless you're going to come in and wash all my dishes and do my laundry, like I have to go do those things. So eventually there's this way of like, there's exhaustion where you have to go to sleep for 8 hours a day. And then there's exhaustion of this physical task would take so much energy where like you can't, like when I book appointments, I don't book 2 a day. I only book 1. Like we do the live stream, I do laundry, and then I have work to do. It's like we manage, it's more time management, but it's actually energy management because there's fixed things in your schedule, then there's flexible things in your schedule, then you have to make a buffer of time to regenerate and replenish And then for some people, it takes longer than others. So the spoon theory is more of like, it was a physical representation of how many spoons you have. And depending on what task you're doing. So like you have 12 spoons, but something takes 6 or 7, there's 5 left. You could use all 5, or you could take a nap and replenish back to 8.
Wikipedia says the spoon theory is a popular metaphor used to explain how people with chronic illnesses, pain, or disabilities manage their limited daily energy.
I said that.
Yeah. I'm just saying what Wikipedia said, you know.
Yeah.
I like to act smart sometimes. Let me be.
Yeah. So yeah, this question was, have you experienced navigating disability assistance? So I put ODSP, getting your federal disability benefits. Then I listed some of the federal benefits: disability tax credit, registered disability savings plan, Canada worker benefit, disability supplement. So the Canada worker benefit, disability supplement. So there's a Canada worker benefit for just regular working people that are not disabled. Then they added another one for people that are disabled. Then we added the Canada disability benefit. Then there's also senior benefits that we get when we turn 65. Now, if this is the first time you're hearing them and you're going to respond with nobody told you, I told you. Stop saying nobody told you. I told you. Minnie St. Clair told you. They're there. And the amount of links that are in this document, I know they're there. I found most of them or all of them. At this point, I think I found all of them. So for Terry and Patrick, which benefits do you have out of this minimal list? Because there's also employment, sickness benefits, and employer benefits. Yeah, see, we have a lot, but people are not aware because they're not looking.
Right.
How about just ask all the questions, then ask more questions? Because eventually you find things, like I found things I didn't need to know that I know now. Like the CPP rehabilitation to get back to work.
Can I just ask, where do you start? Who do you ask the questions to? Let's start there. And
for someone who doesn't know anything, where do you start?
Well,
like a social worker, does a social worker know everything? Are they a first line into defense? You know what I mean? Like,
it depends. Like, so it didn't know where you're starting from. Like, where did you start? Like before ODSP, what were you doing?
I was working in the system.
Okay.
I don't know what you mean. I was working. I wasn't on ODSP. I would never have taken any handouts. I had an ego.
But that's the thing. These are not they're built into our tax system. We paid for this stuff.
I understand that now.
Right.
I wasn't.
So you had the job and you only had the job? Like when you got the job, did HR give you an orientation of what's available at the job? Like you get a job, you fill out your tax paper and orientation.
Yes. Okay.
Depends on the job. Sometimes they say, there you are, go do it. You know, like welcome.
Let's go with
aboard.
managing a restaurant. Okay. Let's use managing a restaurant. You go HR, you sign the papers. What is there next to do?
Well, that's the thing. So certain businesses don't pay for HR. Certain businesses do. Every job I've ever had an orientation day where we fill out paperwork.
Yeah.
And then school, and then my parents, and then my dad when he got my SIN number. Like the way that he got my SIN number said you'd be working for the rest of your life and paying taxes. That was my first lesson when I got my SIN number from my parents. So like, and then school, like depending on what school is offering you and what you take to offer in school. Like I took all the cooking classes in school so I can learn to cook when I'm not in school. I picked things that I needed to learn in life. But if you don't do that, waiting for someone to hand it to you, you'll be waiting a very long time. And then if you're working, and then you get injured, and then you go to a lawyer, then maybe they tell you something. Eventually, like over time, you get little bits of information over time. But if you don't remember it, or don't look it up, or don't ask more questions, or like when they have an information day at your school or your job or a flyer you saw on the street, like some stuff I see on the street, like Goodfoot, they're a courier of people with intellectual disabilities that deliver things on foot that are near transit. Like Information's around us all the time. Like the amount of times that CAMH is doing a research thing that pays an honorarium for you to participate in research. But did you remember it? Did you take a picture of it? Did you write it down? Like, no one's going to tell you, but people advertise stuff all the time. Even the Canada Disability Benefit, I saw it in a coffee shop.
Yo, compared to you, I was winging everything. I
You
wasn't
can wing
before,
it,
'cause I didn't have MS. I thought everything was fine. So when I was working, I was working in the moment.
I think most Canadians do that. Actually, I think most people do that. It's just go through life, and you don't run into things until they bump you in the face.
you're in
Like
denial. Yeah,
yeah, You're
That thing's
just trying to exist because it's
totally. And then,
yeah.
and then you get sick and you realize, oh man, I need a plan. I should have had a plan before. And then you realize, man, I
Well, it's
should.
like how many people actually practice putting their mask on the airplane? Like
Yeah.
they tell you about it. The flight attendant says, "Oh yeah, if we're in a emergency, they'll drop from the ceiling and put your own on first, and then don't worry about your kid." But
Yeah,
when nobody actually practices that. You know what I mean? Like
it's true. It just drops from the ceiling, and
your
then
fingers get stuck in the cord. You never
there
know,
might
right?
be a
Yeah, exactly.
recording, and then if the flight attendant is not injured, they'll tell you.
Yeah. They'll be panicking, kissing their own ass goodbye. Like
I mean, they
What if-
practice it. Emergency people practice it. Like my mom's a nurse, worked in Emerge. We practice drills all the time.
What if
So it kind of depends. Like your upbringing kind of really determines how well you
It's-
survive and other stuff.
temperament.
That's
has
what it
something to do
is?
with
My upbringing of sometimes, anyway, we're not going to get into therapy right now, but
it.
yes, it's all the upbringing and your fundamental skills and stuff like that. So, by the way, what if Patrick is sitting next to me on a plane and the masks fall down and his comes down and it's wrecked? Does he punch me and take my mask? You get what I'm saying? This is how the world is.
That's
No
the
one's
way the
talking
world
about,
works sometimes.
like, you know, no one wants to talk about that.
I believe that most people are good at heart, and they would share the oxygen if they had to. I have to
Until you
believe
get,
that
yeah.
until you hit the mountain at 300 miles an hour.
Remember Mike Tyson? Everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face.
Yeah.
And it's all fun and
Or-
games if you lose an eye. Like I vividly
His
remember
thing was
that.
bleeding people on the ear. Remember him? he's a cannibal. Yeah.
That was funny.
All right. So there's extra questions. And it may be an uncomfortable question, but what if they don't double ODSP? What are you going to do?
What if they don't double ODSP?
So the payment we get every month,
Yeah.
there's a campaign to double ODSP.
Okay.
Every time they talk in Parliament, every time they sign a petition, something French, she talked about it. Anybody in Parliament for different neighborhoods are always asking the government to double ODSP, and Ontario Works. Ontario Works is $733 right now. ODSP is still $1,408. If you have shelter that's not a board and lodging or institution or rent-a-geared income, like there's specific reasons to get the shelter allowance, the maximum $599. Then living expenses is $809. Then you may get more for special diet. You may get more for medical transportation. You may get the work-related benefit if you made $100 net income the month before. So right now, who we have, I'm not talking about who's in power, but who we have in power is not interested in raising it because it's already indexed to inflation, which is going at 1.9% in July. So the payment, July 31st payment, you'll see an increase. It estimates about $25. That's the promise our current government has made. But we keep going back asking to double ODSP. If he wins again, he's probably not going to do it. So like if it doesn't happen until we get someone in power to raise it, what are you going to do?
Why do you keep saying double? To me, when you say double, I'm taking it literally. They're trying to double the number.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last two provincial elections, the the opposition parties have been talking about doubling ODSP. That's been one of their carrots to try and get us to vote for them.
They could double
Okay.
shelter. They could double
I know they
living
wanna
expenses.
increase.
They could double both. So like whatever the increase is,
Oh,
that it's
okay.
livable for
Okay.
everybody in Ontario, which
Yeah.
might end up being like I look at double. I look at because I get $1,600, it'd be $3,000.
That's a tall order. Like I
think so.
never, I thought that they were using that to like increase it. You know, it's like a negotiation thing anyway. But
Well-
doubling ODSP, that's crazy. That's crazy cool. Like, you know, but I
I think it would make a lot of people upset who are non-disabled, who are trying to make ends meet. And that's why it's hard to sell, you know?
Yeah, but this is a safety net for everybody. So like how my friend had a job, good job, car accident, seizures, anxiety up to the yin yang, now on ODSP, now on benefits. I keep reminding her all the time, you filled this form, you asked your caseworker for this. If she didn't have me, she wouldn't have half the stuff she's getting. But regular job people could get disability, short-term disability, long-term disability, EI. Then once they max out those benefits, they apply for Ontario Works ODSP if they're in Ontario. If they're in a different province, there's a different plan, different services, different resources. Right. Go look what they are. Don't make me do it till 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to go do it. I know what they are, but I'm not going to say what they are. I know they're there. And don't try to say, oh, well, nobody told me. Again, I told you, go look. Like, seriously, like this, I have so much information in my head that's not mine that I need people to go look and go find it.
So
but
if they don't double it, life goes on, you know, like that's where I'm at right now. I don't know. I don't live my life according to what the government does.
I got some interesting things to say. You know how people know they can go onto Works, right? They know it's a backup. So do people become careless and they're like, there's always Works if it fails and stuff like that. With ODSP, do you think people live their life recklessly, knowing that if they get sick or hurt, that they just have ODSP to fall back on? I
don't think so. Well, I would hope not, because I mean it's no picnic, that's for sure.
It's not the easiest thing to get on. Both of them are not easy. So like both of them require an application. Both of them require meeting a caseworker. Both of them require you checking into the caseworker, following the program, reporting your income. The amount of times that people will post online that their file is on hold or suspended right when they need their rent paid. ODSP can log in right now, tell you that your file is suspended, and it's a way that they want you to contact them. They don't have a letter that says we change your caseworker. Like mine says caseworker to be determined. I didn't know. I had to log in, see it. And then there's people that only get mail delivery because I found my mail letters, but they're from 2017. The minute digital was an option for me, I took it. And now digital is way easier for me to communicate with my caseworker. I just upload my invoices that are paid. And then I let them know what's in my bank account. And if I left the province for more than 30 days, because we have to log in and tell them that. Right now, the way it is, I'm okay. But I know for other people, they're falling apart. Because they're not checking in. They're not communicating. They're doing the avoidance. If you avoid and then something happens with your ODSP and that's your only source of income and you don't have savings, you have to go back to your caseworker. They're the only ones that can release your file, release funds. When I helped someone access $3,000 of work-related benefit, she didn't know. She thought her income is too little. Why would I report my income? When legally you're supposed to do it. It's the rules. It's the instructions. It's how you play the board game. So if these are the rules to play the board game, play the board game. And I get it. Not everyone knows it. Not everyone has the capacity to remember. People with energy, people with disabilities, they have capacities. But when you decide to apply for ODSP, you also sign I agree for everything it does. Every time we're in there, we sign I agree right down at the bottom of the page. I certify I'm true and everything in this application is true. And I agree to follow all the rules. And then the privacy law and all the stuff on there. It's on every page we have that we agree. So if you agree, then play the rules.
Do you remember you said that every month you contact them to let them know you have not left the country?
Yes, they make you. It's a pop-up. It's a pop-up that they make you.
Patrick, do you do that too? Because I don't do that. I've never known to do that, nor have I ever had problems. I
No,
never left
no.
anyway, but
I created my own problems. I got to because I applied for the employment subsidy a couple of
okay.
years ago. I was going to start a business, and I did start a business, but it didn't work out. Anyways, since then, I've had to log in every month to report my income, and I do that through the messaging, and I send a message saying, "Yeah, I haven't worked, haven't made any income." Um, nil report for the month. And every time I log in, it asks, have you left the province for 30 days? It's just,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
cost of doing business. I regret taking that $500. I got to say, it was,
The employment startup benefit?
yeah,
Oh,
Well,
it was not worth the price of admission. Because before that, I never had to talk to them. Never. So, it's added stress, but it is what it
thanks
is.
for sharing that, man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Just so you know, if you decide to get a job, or let's say you want to get that employment subsidy for your podcast,
Mm,
you gotta just ask yourself if it's worth it. You know, like you do have to report income if you start making it from the podcast,
of
but
course. Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Yeah.
like until then, do you want to take $500 for equipment or something? Maybe it's worth it for you. I don't know.
I know. I hear what you're
yeah.
saying, man.
But let's say you go get a job anyway without ODSP employment supports. You still have to tell them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
and then if mom, dad, or grandma gives you birthday money and it's like a couple hundred, you still have to tell them.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
because rights and responsibilities says you still have to tell them. So if you're capable of going out to an employment agency and sign up on your own, and then you get a job from there, or you go start a business because somebody gave you money to start a business, or you figure out how to start a business without cash, like babysitting or dog walking or any of the cash jobs. Because some people think, oh, I just get a cash job. No, you're supposed to report it. Government and CRA and ODSP you have to report it.
Yes.
Like, old lady gave me $100 to help fill out forms in a pharmacist. I made an invoice, paid invoice, gave it a job title, sent it to ODSP. And I know it's a lot of paperwork and it's a lot of details to pay attention to, but until you exit from 65 or before 65, like you leave the program, you're forever connected to them and you have to report in and check in. Like you're a parent when they ask you, can you go out Friday night to go to the club? Like, or, call when you get home. Like, this is ODSP.
Yeah. I'm leaving for a few days in a month. So I'm like, I'm going to call them and let them know.
No, that is fine. But keep receipts.
You know,
Keep your boarding pass, your itinerary, the stuff you spent when you were there, why you were there. Like you told me you're going to the beauty pageant conference for
Yeah.
the Miss Wheelchair pageant.
Yeah.
Keep that, because I saw the website. I think I saw the website for it. That is very good evidence to tell ODSP you're actively in the community trying to build a career. And that would give evidence to get your $500 work-related benefit. Because you're actually, you can also get it for any activity that shows you're trying to be marketable in the workforce. So there's benefits of getting it if you know how to package it in a way that tickles their fancy. And they say yes, and they don't ask a lot of questions after.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Now we're in the aging section, which I didn't realize how much information this is. Okay, so I had two questions about just for, where was it? As we age with a disability, how do we think strategically about future care needs? Exit ODSP before 65 or ride it out until 65? And then it was, when someone is receiving Ontario Disability Program, what factors should be considered when deciding between building an exit strategy before 65 or remaining on ODSP until transitioning into senior benefits? Now, the leading expert of retiring on low income is John Stapleton. He has webinars all over the internet about it. And I didn't like what I saw. So, it's just the way that And it didn't factor in registered disability savings plans, tax-free savings accounts. It didn't factor in of what if we get a registered disability savings plan and there's money in there in various quantities and levels of money in there. That's taxed when we take it out
Yep.
at 60. Then does it affect this? Like that part of John Stapleton's information didn't have it. I had to go find it, and I still
Well, the
not
good
sure what it
news-
is because
the
I'm
good news
41.
is that it's exempt. It's exempt under federal law, but provincial law may be different. Like where, depending on where you live, here in Ontario, it's exempt. So we're good.
Yeah, but we don't just deal with Ontario. We also have to deal with the federal. So like we take money
It's
out.
exempt federal as well.
It's not. It's taxed because of the way that the
No, what I'm saying is it doesn't count towards your income limits, like for GIS or OAS.
no, it does. There's a specific form, one of the wonderful tax forms of income from RDSPs. Because when we were doing CERB, I saw it. Like it was the line is there in the tax code. It's just that I don't worry about it. Me and my financial planner, we talk about it all the time, but I'm 41. We still got 15, 25 years to plan. But every time we fill out my taxes and it says, did you take out your registered disability savings plan income? And it's a specific tax sheet paper they would give you for it. And then they calculate the math and they move it around the different lines of the tax paper. And then it's taxable income. Because even when people were mad about qualifying for CERB, the $5,000 of income, you could have gotten it from your registered disability savings plan to qualify for CERB. So I get it. I'm not a tax professional. I do my taxes every year for being self-employed. I read stuff. I get bored of reading the policy of ODSP. So I started reading the tax stuff and I know that paper is there. I'm not going to look it up. My brain wants to. I'm not going to do that. But every dollar we get is either taxable, not taxable, exempt, not exempt, ODSP, not ODSP, where I would like to only worry about one federal government. That's it.
Agreed.
Which, what was our question? Actually, no, that was our question. I almost forgot. Yeah, and then the long-term care. So like from long-term care, financial planning perspective, how should disabled adults think about future care needs, including private, in-home support, long-term care, and the realities of government-funded services? There's a lot. I didn't realize there's that many. And then there's long-term care insurance that we could pay for that will pay out a weekly amount to pay for services you need for long-term care. Yes, you're paying a monthly premium for it, but in Ontario, we legally are required to have tenant insurance, a monthly premium. So, and that comes out of the $5.99 shelter allowance, or you squeeze it out of your $809 of living expenses. And I'm already paying critical illness insurance of $47.75, where it'll cover all of the other illnesses I could get in the future that's not multiple sclerosis or bipolar disorder. And it's a one-time payout of $75,000. As long as I keep paying for it, I have access to it. The minute I stop paying for it, I don't have access to it. So long-term care, have you thought about it or not thought about it?
Yeah, it's on my mind. I don't know what I'm going to need, and I know that it's expensive right now.
Are you sure it's expensive? Did you call people to get quotes?
$7,000 a month for a private.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
But then did you look at the option of hiring staff to come into your home?
Generally, that costs more.
It's actually not, but okay.
If you need full-time assistance,
You would, so it's based on how many days, like, so with your vision being lowered, yes, daily care, but they'll switch shifts. So they may be there, and it depends on how much of your independence is still there. So if your independence is completely gone, then yes, it could be added up a lot of money. But if your independence is still there, it could be less. So you have to do a budget of full independence with support, then no independence, 100% support. And then you would apply for direct funding in Ontario, because that they give you money, you hire your staff on your own, and you could fire them as well. So
Funding is
again,
just another thing on top of everything.
Yeah.
It's just more work for direct funding. Like I've heard good things and bad things about direct funding.
yeah, everything has goods and bads and in the middles and meh and like F the system, like all of them are there. But I
Do
do
you have
know
direct funding?
I
Sorry,
don't.
is that personal? I don't mean to get into that.
For me, I don't. I know it's there. I don't qualify.
Okay.
I found out in
Okay.
August.
Mm.
But for
Okay.
Patrick having a more progressive, potentially disabled disability,
Mm-hmm.
yes, if your independence is still there, like they modify your whole home so that you can still visually and non-visually see your apartment with either the walking cane or grab bars or different sensory sticky notes around the apartment. And then someone comes in for cooking and laundry and you can still get to bed, have a shower.
Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
my apartment, I if blackout, I'm okay. Like, I know I've been here for 19 years. I know every inch of this apartment. It's pretty okay. The only thing is when I add in furniture, I have to map out a new route of walking around my apartment. But yeah, it kind of depends on what's happening. And a lot of it you can't plan until you're in it. But because this document has all of the options, and I have to add more from private agencies because I have flyers from them.
Mm-hmm.
Private agencies. Every time I go into a hospital, I pick up a flyer. Like I said, I look all the time.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Like they're
And that's
telling
why
you, they're telling you it right in your face. It's right there. And I get it. If
I
you
think it
can't,
depends on where you live, because I don't see anything. Well, my vision's impaired, but I don't see anything depending on where you live. Like in rural settings, and especially here in Barrie, they don't really put stuff in your face about what's available. Like
yeah, that
they don't
is
communicate it.
the gap.
Yeah, being in a more metropolitan area, I think you get more advertisements about what you get.
You do. It's and then like the home care services. So like at a colonoscopy, they want someone to take you home. I ask, and then my family, because they work in healthcare, some of them are PSWs, some of them are nurse practitioners, some of them are PSWs. So after I ask my family, they're like, no, we can't do it. I have to work, which is always their excuse. Then I'm like, okay, great. So auntie is a nurse. Can we hire her? Other auntie is a nurse. Can I hire her? Like I literally end up asking the other family members where their job description is to literally do the thing I'm asking. That they're paid to do it for other people. Somehow they all said no. So when it happening, my family sent me money and then I hired from a different agency.
Okay.
Because direct funding from the government wasn't coming and what ODSP would give me wouldn't cover it on top of my monthly bills for that month. So I hired someone 20 years old. She did my dishes. She took me out into an Uber. She was there for me in the waiting room. We talked for 2 hours before my colonoscopy. So it looked like we were friends. It was nice. Like $60. That was it.
Wow.
So that's why I said, did you actually call these people to get numbers and quotes and like?
I know from family members got someone in memory care that it's not cheap.
Yeah, but memory care is for dementia or aphasia and all the other reasons memory care would step in.
If you're going to set yourself up, shouldn't you always plan for the worst?
I think so. You got to pack your parachute.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like, you know.
And there's 2 parachutes, so don't just have one.
Both have failed at times.
Yeah, but that's a small percentage.
Then I'm going into a prone position and going to hit that ground real fast.
No. You just.
I jumped out of a plane. They played the video. It's a small percentage of it always failing completely where there's injury or death because you sign a waiver.
Yep.
And then the way that I came out the plane and my hands were flapping around, I could have made it worse. Luckily, it did not. I'm here. But there's 2 parachutes. And there's a parachute that slows you down. Like it's a weird, you jump out of a plane, there's this slower parachute slowing your speed. So it's not just, you're not jumping on the plane without anything. Like, and You go through training. There's a whole 90 minutes before you jump out of the plane of safety checks, what happens, what position to be in the air, where to
Have you
smile
gone
for the
skydiving?
I did. Yes.
Oh, okay.
With my ex. Yes, I did.
Okay.
There's a whole video on the channel. I did.
Did you pushed your ex out of the plane? I heard.
No, he so it's tandem. So I'm in the front, he's in the back, he has the parachute attached to him. I'm attached to him.
Oh, so he's. Oh, okay, cool.
So he is literally my parachute
Okay.
Right.
because
So
it's
he was in a-
spooning. It's a spoon.
Yeah. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've been there to see someone jump out of a plane. I would never do it. But he was an instructor. Like he was the guy taking you.
It's his profession.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
I don't know
so.
if it was just two rookies going tandem
No,
together.
I would never just jump with a random. No.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did it on my own 6 times.
Oh, you're
So-
crazy, dude.
See, you've done more than me. That's a
No,
lot
but
of
he's-
jumping.
I don't want to discredit him at all, but because I know, is it the one where when you jump out, it kind of releases right away? It's not one,
It was on a static line. Yeah. Yeah.
but you still have to pull. Don't get me wrong.
No, you got a backup pull with the static
Oh,
line.
is that what it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you're attached to the plane and you hope you hope it pulls the chute, and it does usually work. But there's
Or
always a
tandem.
chance.
Yeah, of course. I've heard stories, by the way. They're fine, but I'm like, I'd never do that. But where your guy has a watch probably, and he sees what altitude he's at, you know what I mean? When he's just, it goes right away. So anyway, and different heights. Anyway, we're going side topics.
Not really. I mean, for bucket list items, skydiving is one of the things. And then planning for long-term care while low income, eligible for benefits. It's pretty scary. Both of them are scary.
Yeah, true.
Because
I went on a ride in Canada's Wonderland, and it's that one where it's like a bungee jump. It's not really. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
You
the
go
swing. It's like a big
Yeah.
swing, right?
Dude, I thought I was going to die. When I was going up, halfway up, I looked up like this, and I'm like, oh my God, we're only halfway? Dude, I stopped breathing. I couldn't breathe anymore. And then it was,
Would you rather do heights or public speaking?
I don't mind heights. Good
public
one.
speaking, and I jumped
I
out
like-
of the plane.
That's funny that you say that. That's funny. I think
Yeah.
public speaking, it depends on, yeah, I think public speaking. For sure.
All right.
I don't
So-
know. Both are scary.
This is where I would play the video.
I've seen you, Patrick. You're fine. I would say you're a pro at that, speaking. But I get it. In the head, you never know what someone's going through. So,
No, exactly.
yeah, I get it.
All right. We have 3 more questions and a video. So we're almost done, which is fantastic.
Okay.
Because the retirement, 65, all of the stuff are here. So like how I talked about, you can pay for a premium for long-term care insurance. Around age 45 to 71 is a good idea to look into it. Get a quote, actually get real numbers from these people. Actually call plan out how you are now, if that can stay and if you can change lifestyle choices of diet and exercise and reduce your risk factors for other illnesses, that helps. And I know it's hard to do on ODSP, but somewhere in there, the you has to be in charge, or you with the family helping you set these things up in place. And then there's habits to make sure that they stay in place. Because I found all of them. I know they're there, but not all of them are I can't access them. If I still stay the way I am now, mild disability, not psychotic in the emergency room disability, I'm not going to get a lot of these services. I looked at the application. I don't qualify for most of them. Like I still have my walking ability. I still have my feeding. I regained a lot of things I lost with the muscle spasms and then changing my medication. And then now diet and exercise is coming in with the exercise bike. And then I'm lowering my cholesterol. My blood work is good. Anything that pointed in the direction of hypertension, high blood pressure, diabetes is reversing. So my doctor wants me to keep doing that, which means a lot of these things I'm not going to qualify for, which means my money has to qualify for 65. All these people say apply for OAS, GIS, gains if you're low income, $22,000 a year. And then you move on to Trillium Drug Program for your prescriptions. But if you need anything else, you're running around hoping your doctor can find you the program and you get approved. Like when I did physiotherapy clinic, I was qualified for ODSP, but when I went in there, the amount of old people are like, why are you here? Why would I go there? Just like, why would I be in an environment that there's supposed to be a healing environment and have people wonder why I'm there when I'm there to get my physiotherapy just like everybody else? So then I found a physiotherapy clinic that charges $150 an hour, specializes in neurological conditions. It's a tax write-off for me for medical expenses. Nobody's asking me why I'm there. We're all there to pay for the services, get our healing, do our treatment, 6 to 12 week program, go back to rehab and go back to work. But the government clinic is supposed to be there for 65 people at ODSP and OW after a doctor fills out the form. I did it. They treated me like crap. Even the compression sock lady down at the street, I don't want to go in there. I'd rather buy my compression socks. And yeah, my feet are still swollen because the hypertension's still there. Like, and then ODSP gave me more money for hypertension, lymphedema, but it doesn't mean it's going to cover it in full. So if it's not covered, it still has to come from somewhere. And yeah, I could ask for mom, dad, and grandma, but they don't want to. And then I want to do a GoFundMe on the internet that I have to report to ODSP because it's income. Yeah, like I could spin down the rabbit hole. I know I can. But at some point in time, especially if the government options, you don't like them, you either go without and get worse, or you pay for it and get a little bit better.
That's true.
And then now that I found all of them, yeah, what choices am I making? So we discussed direct funding, private insurance, benefits are paid, and then I'll play the video, and then 3 more questions, and then we're done for the day. All right, video.
Guide for building financial independence, not by trying to get out of the system, but by learning to master it from the inside. Okay, so before we get to the solution, the source first grounds us in the reality of the problem. It frames this whole thing not just as a personal struggle, but as a much bigger systemic crisis. And the numbers, well, they're pretty staggering. The source points out that in Canada, 1 in 6 people with disabilities lives in poverty. And that's not just some abstract statistic. It's a reality that really highlights why a new approach is so urgently needed. This chart right here really drives the point home. The source shows the poverty rates for people with disabilities aren't just a little bit higher, they're double the rates for those without disabilities. We're not talking about a small gap here, this is a chasm. So how do you even start to fix this? Well, the framework argues that you can't win a game if you don't know the rules. It's as simple as that. And that's why the very first step is a deep dive into the legal foundation of the system itself. In this case, Ontario's Disability Support Program, or ODSP. One of the first absolutely crucial concepts to wrap your head around is the benefit unit. See, ODSP doesn't just look at the individual with a disability. It assesses the entire household. The combined income and assets of everyone in that unit are what determine the final support amount. This is a critical detail. And this is where knowing the rules becomes a total game changer. The source points out a huge difference in how earnings are treated. A person with a disability gets a $1,000 per month earnings exemption, but for a non-disabled spouse in the exact same household, it's only $200. This is precisely the kind of detail that this entire strategy is built on. The source then lays out the specific sections of the ODSP policy directives that are, frankly, essential reading. These aren't just bureaucratic codes. Think of them as the legal building blocks for the whole wealth building plan. They cover everything from what assets you're allowed to own to how your income is actually calculated. So with that legal foundation set, the source pivots to the really actionable part of the plan, a personal framework it calls the 7 baby steps, specifically adapted for people on disability benefits. And here it is, the whole roadmap at a glance. It's a really clear, sequential path. It's designed to build financial momentum, starting with immediate security, like an emergency fund, and taking you all the way to long-term wealth building and even generosity. Now, the source puts a huge emphasis on step 2. It advocates for the debt snowball method, paying off debts from smallest to largest just to build that psychological momentum. The recommended timeline is pretty aggressive: become debt-free in 3 years or less, and the goal is to free up your most powerful wealth-building tool, your income, as fast as you possibly can. Step 4, investing, is where all that legal knowledge from earlier really comes into play. See, it's not just about investing, it's about using the right tools that are actually compliant with ODSP rules. We're talking about things like the RDSP, which is an exempt asset, and even the cash value of a life insurance policy. Each one of these is a specific piece of the puzzle for building wealth without putting your benefits at risk. So, if your income is the engine for this whole plan, how do you manage it, especially if you're self-employed? Well, the source lays out a system for organizing business income that it calls the command center. This is the practical nuts and bolts setup. The source recommends 5 separate bank accounts to keep your business and personal finances completely distinct. This whole system is designed for clarity, for compliance with ODSP reporting, and honestly, for peace of mind. Each account has exactly one job. And this brings us to what the source calls the golden rule of the entire operation: complete and total transparency. Reporting every dollar that comes in and every dollar that goes out isn't just about compliance. It's about protecting yourself and maintaining total control over your financial life. All right, let's zoom back out and see how this all comes together. After laying out all the legal, personal, and business frameworks, the source returns to the big picture, the ultimate vision behind all of these practical steps. I find this quote fascinating because it just completely reframes the goal. It suggests that becoming a millionaire isn't about luck or some kind of magic. It's a solvable math problem. It demystifies the whole idea of wealth and presents it as something achievable through a deliberate process. And this really gets to the heart of it all, doesn't it? The source is incredibly explicit about its goal: to completely rewrite the story. It's a direct challenge to that narrative we heard at the beginning, aiming to replace disability means poverty with disabled and wealthy. So we end with this question that the material itself poses. After walking through this really detailed personal plan, the source leaves us to think about a much bigger idea. If enough individuals follow a roadmap like this, could it do more than just change personal lives? Could it actually begin to shift the entire system?
Is this-
Okay.
it's how did you find that video?
I made it. So I put in a whole you saw my script, the outline for the show.
Yeah.
I made a version of that and I put it in Notebook LM and it made that.
Yeah.
And I've been practicing with Notebook LM to get my thoughts in the right order, as accurate as possible. It takes a lot of effort, but that's the closest one I like. And there's another one, but that one is exactly
job.
what I do in the way that I do it with the Dave Ramsey baby steps and the 5 business bank accounts, without a program, without a mentor. I mean, there's mentors, but not a government funded program. Like there's Futurepreneur and I found one for disabled entrepreneurs and veterans. I don't want to fit in their box and learn, because all my experience is in there. And results now, like I now have $1,000 in my emergency fund. I'm waiting for my disability tax credit to be approved.